Good morning. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Mr. Lucia, Mr. Danville, Mr. Prescott, Ms. Turner, Dr. Rodriguez, Superintendent Jacobs, Chairwoman Donahue, Mr. Milker, Mr. Bjork, Mr. Zadina, Mr. Wiggin, Selectman Trapani, friends and family. Welcome to the commencement exercise for Georgetown High School's class of 2010. It is truly a privilege for us to be able to celebrate this beautiful day together, despite the less than ideal weather. As we call to mind all our memories of the years we've spent together, it is important to remember that today serves not only as the final day of our high school career, but also as the first day of our lives in the real world. I'm sure that every one of my eager classmates can attest to that. The class of 2010, we had worked hard to make it to this point. We've toiled over countless reports, projects, pop quizzes, and tests to be able to stand here today. Now, it is time for us to enjoy the fruits of our labors, ever mindful of the great experiences we've shared, while keeping our eyes towards the horizon. It is now my pleasure to introduce Superintendent Jacobs.
Thank you very much. I'll try that again. Thank you very much, Dean, and good morning, everyone. Chairman Donahue, members of the Georgetown School Committee, colleagues, friends, and family, and most importantly, the class of 2010. Each year it's my pleasure and I'm given the privilege of welcoming you to this important and special day in your lives, and I get an opportunity to just speak briefly with you. So as a mom, I know how proud your parents are of you today as you stand at the crossroads of this new adventure. leaving behind the security of life as you have known it for 18 years, and stepping into new territory that offers possibilities yet to be discovered. We are here to celebrate with you. We acknowledge your many accomplishments, and whether your future includes attending college, employment, travel, military service, or something else, you are walking through a new door, and you couldn't have gotten here to this day alone. So in these final days at Georgetown High School and over the summer, I hope you'll take a moment to speak with those people who have had a profound influence on your life and say thank you to them. After all, these are mentors, and we all have them, and they touch our lives in ways big and small. But they really are, like all of us, just ordinary people trying to make a difference. We are people we are because of the people who touch our lives. Jonas Salk said, "Good parents give their children roots and wings. Roots to know where home is, wings to fly away and exercise what's been taught to them. As parents and teachers, we hope that we have given you a solid foundation, firm roots upon which to build your dreams, and now it is your turn to spread your wings and find your way in a world buoyed by our faith in you and always knowing that you can count on and come home to your roots." Your class has accomplished a great deal, individually and collectively, and you have much to be proud about. Your achievement in academics, athletics, the arts, and community service exemplify the qualities of leadership that our world needs today. You have impressed us with your hard work, your perseverance, your sense of humor, and the way you have taken advantage of your educational experience. Just to illustrate, would you do me a favor and would you raise your hand if you were on the honor roll during high school? If you've been accepted into a college, university, or institution of higher learning, hold them high and be proud. If you played a sport, if you joined or participated in a club or activity, and if you participated in community service. There you have it. As it is to all of us in this room, that you are ready for the next challenge. And I hope you will take what you've learned here in Georgetown and the experiences that you've had and use them to the greatest advantage. As young people in Generation Y, you are graduating into a world that will bring you great challenges, but also wonderful opportunities. I think it's particularly appropriate that you chose to sing the song, "We Are the World," at your award ceremony. For it is true that you are the world, you are the children who will make a brighter day by living and giving to make the world a better place for all of us. And I certainly know that you are up to making that happen. The diploma that you'll receive today is a ticket to your future, an acknowledgement of the closing of one door and the opening of another. However, it will not guarantee you the success that you might wish. But if you have dreams and you have goals, and you're open-minded and dedicated, determined, creative, no matter what you choose to do, the most important thing to do is to keep on trying. If you do that, you will succeed in whatever way you define personal success. Never give up, because the only person that can stop you is you. You are only limited by your attitude, and if you believe it, you can achieve it. My good friend and colleague, Georgetown School Committee member George Mocher, is attending his final graduation as a school committee member after serving for 9 years. I guess in his way, he's graduating with his children, his wonderful children, Bryce and Brittany, from Georgetown today. And I know that you join me in thanking him for his service. Education. And he once shared with me a technique that he uses as a professor at Suffolk University, as we like to say, molding young minds. He offers the students what he calls Mocherisms, so that they'll remember key concepts. So I'm going to borrow one of George's good ideas and offer you just 5 Jacobisms as I conclude my comments to you this morning. Regardless of what you choose to do in your life, these principles may be applied and will be useful. Number 1, do something that you have passion about. Do what you love even if you don't love it every day. Find your passion and work will be like play. The sky is the limit. when your heart is in it. Passion will give you a strong sense of purpose, and it is a big part of happiness. Be inspired and inspire others through your passion. And I'm so glad she's here today, but a great example of this is retiring teacher Karen Allback. Her passion for teaching science, even after 36 years, is to be admired. And from the reception she received at the awards ceremony, I know that she has touched many of you through her passion. We wish Karen a great and happy retirement. And do not fear change, since as Vanda Scarvalli tells us, the one thing that is constant is change. There will be many times when you're tempted to play it safe. But even though the road less traveled is sometimes fraught with bumps and roadblocks and unknown twists and turns, it is on that road where your character will be truly tested and your personal growth will be realized. Live life with no regrets and always go for it. Number 3, make a difference and pay it forward. Leo Roston says that the purpose of life is to matter and to have it make some difference that you have lived at all. None of us can do anything, but each of us can do something to make the world a better place. Commit yourself to service, and I promise you that you will get more than you give. Be inspired to do one little deed each day to help someone, a loved one, neighbor, or even a complete stranger. Imagine the effect on the world if all of us committed this to happen. Being recognized and recognizing others makes a profound impression on motivation, satisfaction, and happiness. Take time to let the special people in your life and those you will meet along the way know that they are important, and tell them how they make a difference for you. At this time, I would like to ask anyone in the audience who's a veteran, a member of the military, or their family to stand, so that we may appropriately thank you for your service and sacrifices, and for protecting and preserving the many freedoms and liberties we enjoy as citizens of this great country. Remember to have moral courage. Confucius says, wisdom, compassion, and courage are 3 universally recognized moral qualities. Stand up for yourself and others, and always do the right thing, no matter how difficult. This year, in this graduating class, there are a large group of students, 7, in fact, I believe, who have been recognized by this community for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. This achievement is awarded to young men who demonstrate the values of moral courage, leadership, and service. And I am proud to recognize their achievement, and I would like to ask them to stand. And finally, find the joy. If you give of yourself, you will be a rich person. Be open to new friendships, laugh, live, and love as if there were no tomorrow. Don't take yourself too seriously, and don't get too busy making a living that you forget to make a life. Because it is the special moments in life, not about final destinations. Often we're in a hurry to get to the destination to kind of check the box, because we believe it is what is expected of us, and somehow all the pieces will fit together. While this sometimes happens, I offer to you that the joy is in the journey. So take time to savor the small moments. I love the notion, and I ask you to remember that life is a journey and not a race. I want to personally thank you so much for inviting me to share in your special events and for allowing me to be part of your lives. It is a special treat for a superintendent to spend time with students, and I've always felt welcomed by you. I appreciate being given a special copy of your yearbook, and will cherish it as a memento of how you have left your mark on the school. I have great confidence in you and look forward to hearing about your future accomplishments. So I welcome you, class of 2010, to these commencement exercises. And as an unknown author wrote, I hope your dreams take you to corners of your smiles, to the highest of your hopes, to the windows of your opportunities, and to the most special places your heart has ever known. Good luck in all you do, and thanks so much.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to introduce and congratulate the salutatorian, the president of the class of 2010, Bryant Jaworski.
Thank you very much. So here we are, June 5th, graduation day, the pinnacle of our education, yet we're here to reflect what is an education. Well, you begin with school. School is a place of education, a place where teachers will instruct you with what you're supposed to know, but in the end, you're in control of your education. You control what you choose to learn, to remember, to live by. With that in mind, when you look back on your years of high school at GHS, ask yourself, what have I learned? Also, bear in mind that knowledge is a part of each and every second that passes in our lives. Have you ever experienced a moment in which a thought has not passed through your mind? I didn't think so. Therefore, rather than put those thoughts on the back burner, embrace them and learn from them. In my mind, we came to school for one thing, and we learned one thing, how to gain control. That is, control of our emotions, control of our minds, and most of all, control of our lives. Because of our education, we can now move on and realize that what moves us is a desire to learn. We can see the world around us and realize that if something isn't working, we have the control to find an alternative and change it for the better. With that said, one must keep a mind that is open and that can realize that alternative ways of life may not suit us now, but who's to say they won't in the future. With the control that our education has provided us, we know that happiness comes not from narrowing the mind, but rather from opening it up and expanding it with new possibilities. So class of 2010, as well as everyone present here today, I urge you to take control of your future, or rather life, and learn from it. My high school years have challenged me to find what I know, and I succeeded. So now I ask you, what do you know about the class of 2010? Did you know that Andrew Bugler was a pole vaulting captain of our track team? Or did you know that Taylor Pride can teach a dance that will break your ankles? Or how about this one? Did you know that Dan Nelk is a god among men? Next, did you know that Kat Von Jorny can solo on an oboe like it's nobody's business? Did you know that Adam Titus can break down a car and put it back together better than it began? Here's another. Did you know that Miranda Sisolak is probably tougher than any football player you'll ever come across? And finally, did you know that Dino can pull off dance moves that shouldn't be possible, and who knows, might not even be legal in some parts of the world? I could go on all day, but in the end, I will leave you with this, seniors. Did you know that this is the last time you'll hear me make morning announcements with a did you know? Why? Because we're done. We're graduating. We made it, baby.
It is my honor to congratulate and welcome the class valedictorian, Pauline Riley.
Thanks, John.
Good morning again. When I was asked to write this speech, I honestly didn't know where to begin. In 3 to 5 minutes, I had to make a speech that 20 years from now, when my name casually came up in conversation, someone could be like, yeah, Pauline Riley, I remember her. The girl with all the books, the fly Monopoly sneakers. And wasn't she our class valedictorian? Making an impression was was key. Excuse me. Should I start with a quote? No, maybe a list of advice that I collected from my span of high school. And then I thought, wait a second, I'll tell my life story. After careful consideration, I realized that telling my whole story could become dreadfully boring, leaving everyone with the thought of, so why did I ever talk to this girl? But then I thought, why not tell our story, the story that's brought us to sit in these chairs today? Let's go back to a time when one-color sweatsuits were fashionable, Pokemon cards were still a commodity, and having a trapper keeper immediately deemed you an outcast without it. Ah, middle school, what a place. The one-way rule, making sure we didn't smack heads as we rounded the corners on our way to class, and an education composed of endless projects and PQA, part of the question and the answer for those of you who don't know. For most of us, this was a time of solidifying friendships that had been around since we started kindergarten together, while for others, it was a time to make new friends. Life was tough, but we learned to respect one another and ourselves, to never be part of the problem and always part of the solution, and learned that playing with animals at the zoo was never a good idea. We made the friendships that would last us through high school, and were prepared for the next step of our journey that was about to unfold. High school came in guns blazing, a life of midterms, formal dances, and very few field trips. Middle school was over, and boy was that statement obvious. We were becoming young adults, learning to read critically, write persuasively, and open our minds to a variety of ideas. We were preparing for the future as life around us was changing. The first African-American president came to office, the first Hispanic woman was appointed to the Supreme Court, and Facebook had almost taken over the world. We were the modern generation, prepared for success in a life after high school, and invincible towards anything that would try to bring us down. School was over before we knew it had started, and it was time to place the next piece into the puzzle. Before I conclude, I would like to take this opportunity to say a few thank yous. And you all thought I was going to finish my speech without saying thanks to my parents. To my mom and dad, thank you for always being there for me, as my fan club, my support system, and as the people who made me the person I am today. I love you so much, and I couldn't have done this without you. To Michelle, thank you for being my sister, my best friend, and my #1 fan. You are the one person I can always count on no matter what. To my friends, peers, extended family, thank you for your love and encouragement always. Thank you to the administration, Superintendent Jacobs, Mr. Lucia, Mr. Danville, Mr. Prescott, school committee members, everyone here. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you to my teachers for helping me get to the place I stand today before you. GMHS has been our home for the past 7 years. For almost 7 hours a day, we were in school, learning, laughing, and growing up. Now, if you've ever been to my house, there's a little plaque inside my kitchen with a quote on it. The world is like a fruitcake. It would not be complete without a few nuts. Now, I know this is probably the corniest quote you've ever heard in your life, but it reminds me every day to be independent and stay true to myself. Each of us is one of those nuts, an individual with our own goals, dreams, and hopes. Together, we are the cake, a sweet combination of our independent ideas that will achieve success in the future. I leave you with this quote, hoping you will dream big, stay original, and never give up on yourself. Good luck, class of 2010. And as my mom always says, there's life after high school, so let's go live it.
Very well done, very well done. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I would like to personally take this opportunity to welcome you to the Georgetown High School commencement exercise for the class of 2010. Before we honor our seniors today, I would like to give thanks to all of the people that made this ceremony possible. Our maintenance and custodial staff for preparing the building, the grounds. We actually had 2 plans ready to go since Mother Nature was so iffy this morning, and they've been here since 6 a.m. working hard and making the place ready and having an appropriate venue for this ceremony. Mr. Chuck Davis for all of his efforts in providing our sound for today, Mr. CPR band director that I think 2 days ago got a group of musicians together that was able to learn some music on the fly, and they sounded wonderful this morning. So congratulations and thank you for that. Mrs. LaFamme, of course, who is responsible for the wonderful music that we hear of our great students singing each day, and to tell you what it's like to sit right in front of the chorus when they sing the national anthem, it's really touching. They did a wonderful job. Thank you, Mrs. LaFamme, the chorus, and the concert choir. To Mrs. Dodge and the yearbook committee for our wonderful, colorful yearbook. Excellent yearbook. To the class advisor, Mr. Murphy, for the masterful job he has done advising the graduates this year. The school committee and central office staff, led by Superintendent Jacobs, for their guidance and support. My administrative team, Mr. Danimal, Mrs. Turner, and Mr. Prescott, for all of their hard work. To my office staff, Mrs. Legere, and a special thanks to Mrs. Harris, who really is the commander of the day. She hasn't slept in 2 weeks, putting all the diplomas together, all of the awards, making sure everything is just right. She is really priceless and does a wonderful job. Thank you. The guidance secretary, Mrs. Lane, for all of her work that she does, putting all the scholarships together. She hasn't slept much lately either. And finally, to the entire faculty of the Georgetown Public Schools, present and retired, who have dedicated their time and energies with today's celebration as their end. We have a very special guest here today, Mr. James Boynton, who is a very, very long time principal of Pearlie High School and Georgetown Junior High School. There have been several principals since he has left, and collectively all of us still cannot fill his shoes. And at this time, I would especially like to recognize our retiring faculty member, Mrs. Karen Allback. Mrs. Allback, could you please stand up? She has faithfully dedicated 36 years of service in instructional excellence to the children of Georgetown. Thank you, Mrs. Allback. It is with great pride that I stand before you today and briefly highlight some of the many accomplishments of this year's senior class. They have represented their families, school, and community well, and have carried on many of the fine traditions that make Georgetown High School so special. Mrs. Jacobs asked them to raise their hands, and I'd like to give you the actual stats here for that. 53% of the seniors participated in athletics. They have excelled on the athletic field and earned a number of state tournament bids as well as league champions. We are especially proud of our spring athletes who, for the first time in my 7 years, we have 3 league champions this spring. The boys baseball team, the girls softball team, and the girls lacrosse team. Congratulations to the girls lacrosse team for the fine game they played in the tournament, and good luck to the boys baseball team who will be playing their first round. They received a bye for the first round on Monday, and congratulations to the girls softball team who had a real big win yesterday, and good luck to you on Sunday. 61% of the class participated in music. We have won countless group and individual musical awards in various competitions. 32% of the class belongs to the National Honor Society. We have a National Merit Commended Student. 13% of the class has earned a Certificate of Mastery, thus making them eligible for a tuition-free education at a state college or university in Massachusetts. 31% of the class are eligible to receive John and Abigail Adams scholarships. 94% of the class will be continuing their education at many diverse and distinguished institutions. They are very impressive, and they are posted to my right outside the guidance office. If you have some time on the way out, take a look. You'll be very impressed. So, please share with me congratulating the class of 2010 for a job very well done. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2010, 7 years ago, you and I came into this school together. We shared some similar emotions. We were a little bit nervous. We were nervous about entering a new building, nervous about new teachers, new acquaintances, and all the other things we encounter when we try something new. Well, it worked out for us, didn't it? You worked hard for the past 7 years, developing skills, accumulating knowledge, and preparing yourself for the next step in your life. Well, if it hasn't happened yet, I hate to tell you this, probably going to have a flashback to the 6th grade. Because all of that newness is coming right back at you. You're leaving your nest, your comfort zone, and it's time to try something new again. You need not worry though, because today's ceremony should be ample proof that you can do it, because you just did. If you look at the cover of today's program, heed the words of Walt Disney. It reads, "All of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." Look how well he did by drawing a mouse. So embrace the change you now face and go with courage. As Milton Berle said, if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. I am confident in saying that each and every one of you have what it takes to be successful in life. And I think Dr. Seuss summarized it best. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. You are the guy who'll decide where to go. Congratulations, and go get 'em. At this time, I would like to award some additional scholarships. We had a lot of scholarships we gave out at our award ceremony, altogether totaling over $53,000 for this class. Very, very impressive. The Greater Georgetown JCs awards are based on volunteerism and/or community service. The recipients are Lauren Calvin, Alessandro Monroe, David Jarris, and Dean Antonio. The Rita Ricker Memorial Scholarship. Rita was a longtime resident of Georgetown and raised her 10 children in town. 9 of her 10 children graduated from Pearly High School, the late Georgetown High School, with one of her sons graduated from Havel Trade School. Many of her grandchildren also graduated from the Georgetown school system. Rita loved Georgetown. Having been born in Groveland, however, there was a natural rivalry, but there is no doubt that Rita's heart belonged to Georgetown. Rita died July 21st, 2009 at 90 years of age, having spent most of those years in town. To honor their mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, and great-great-grandmother, her family has established a scholarship in her memory to be awarded to a Georgetown High School graduate. We have 2 recipients. They are Amanda Adams and Jacqueline Banks. The Michael J. Donahoe Memorial Scholarship. The Michael J. Donahoe Memorial Scholarship is given in memory of Mike Donahoe, former facilities manager of the Georgetown Public School, soccer commissioner of the Georgetown Athletic Association, and longtime friend of many Georgetown residents, and just a great man. This scholarship will be awarded to a Georgetown resident who has demonstrated good citizenship, involvement in school and community, and will be attending a 4-year college or university. This year's recipients are Dean Antonio, Margaret Bergson, and Casey Gazanowski. The Bill Kelly Memorial GAA Scholarship, awarded to a Georgetown resident who has participated in a GAA sports program. GPA, grade point average, will be a consideration. This year's recipients are Margaret Bergson and Dean Nemiroff. The Georgetown Kiwanis Club Scholarship, awarded on the basis of need, service, and scholarship. There are numerous recipients. They are Margaret Bergson, Taylor Brown, Emma Cannon, Lauren Calvin, Victoria O'Brien, Alex Rossio, Pauline Riley, Andrew Sinkowitz, Tracy Sinkowitz, and Sean Weldon. The Greater Georgetown JC Scholarship. Awards are based on volunteerism and or community service. Lauren Calvin. Ms. Bell. She must get extra. The James H. Boynton Scholarship, awarded to a graduating senior of Georgetown High School who best exemplifies the personal value system demonstrated by Mr. Boynton himself over the 25 years he led this school, its students and its faculty. It honors hard work, well-rounded and broad interest in academics, sports, and community involvement, and most of all, a wonderful sense of humor and personal warmth. This year's recipient is Paige Bowden. The Central Fire Company Mary Rita Ricker Memorial Scholarship, awarded to a graduating senior planning to major in a field of study related to public safety, health, and medical service. This year's recipient is Hannah Kelly. The Central Fire Company Arthur J. Rossio Memorial Scholarship, awarded to a graduating senior planning to major in a field of study related to public safety, health, or medical service. This year's recipient is Alessandra Monroe. The Central Fire Company Warren Speed Flanders Memorial Scholarship, awarded to a graduating senior planning to major in a field of study that is related. This year's recipient is Victoria O'Brien. The Erie Four Scholarship. The Erie Four Scholarship is awarded to sons and daughters of members in order to provide financial assistance. This year's recipient is Andrew Coolidge. The Steve Clark Memorial Friendship Scholarship, given in memory of Steve Clark, graduating member of the Georgetown High School class of 1984. He is fondly remembered for being a loving, caring, and genuine classmate, husband, father, and son, a man who loved his family and friends dearly and is missed by all of those who knew him well. The recipients have been selected because they demonstrate the characteristics Steve is best remembered for: friendly, loyal, enthusiastic, humorous, caring, and persevering. This year's recipients are Megan McIver and Alex Lucio. The Ruth E. Brown Memorial Scholarship. The recipient is selected for outstanding progress as shown in scholarship, character, personality, and application. This year's recipient is Lauren Kaufman. At this time, I would call to the podium Chairman Donahue and Mr. Mocha for the awarding of the Baker Adams Scholarships.
Good morning. Baker Adams' contribution to the town of Georgetown began at the turn of the 20th century as exemplified by his lifelong commitment to our community as a public servant and member of many civic organizations. Mr. Adams continued his legacy into the new millennium by establishing the Baker Adams Scholarship Fund upon his death in 1997, entrusting the Georgetown School Committee with the task of awarding scholarships to Georgetown residents who meet the criteria of his trust. Since 2001, the Baker Adams Scholarship Fund has had 332 applicants and awarded 144 scholarships totaling close to $275,000. Scholarship recipients were selected based on their academic performance, financial need, and community involvement. On behalf of the Georgetown School Committee, it's with great pleasure to announce the following Baker Adams 2009-2010 scholarship recipients. The $1,000 scholarships are awarded to Lauren Calvin and Alex Rossio. The $1,500 scholarships are awarded to Emma Cannon, Alessandra Monroe, Peter Nowak, and Mark Tantindo. The $2,000 scholarship is awarded to Pauline Riley. The $2,500 scholarships are awarded to Katerina Bongiorni and Bryant Jaworski. The school committee established the Baker Adams Citizen Scholar Award for the student who embodied the community and academic spirit of Mr. Adams himself. This award is for $5,000. The recipient of the 5th annual Baker Adams Citizen Scholar Award is Dean Antonio.
Amanda Lee Zarthi. Tracy Marie Sinkowitz. Pauline Patricia Riley. Amanda Joanne Adams. Audrey Bagley. Paige Elizabeth Bodwin. Margaret Tierney Bergson. Katarina Rose Bongiorni. Mark Tintendo. Bryant Yaworski. Peter Nowak. Dean Antonio. Matthew Arnold. Joseph Aubin. David Mark Bacus. Christopher David Bjork. Hannah Marie Burning. Emily Ann Mitchell. Stephanie Nicole Brennan. Taylor Jill Brown. Emma Colleen Hannon. Cassandra Rose Decker. Jacqueline Elizabeth Decker. Alejandra Mabel Doucette. John Christian Booten. Andrew Philip Bugler. Joe Burgoyne. Justin Joseph Carbonero. Julio Cesar Colon. Andrew Coolidge. Adam Robert Dillon. Michael George DeMambro. Christina Ann Ferretti. Nicole Kristen Gagne. Casey Marie Gazanowski. Gabby Gaudette. Lauren Walker Hall. Sarah Parker. Christopher Anthony Esposito. Daniel Abel Fabian. Carl Ferry. Andreas Giannopoulos. Zachary Grant Hamilton. Tyran Adonis Harrigan. David Michael Jarvis. Ty Arthur Kavanaugh. Hannah John Kelly. Artie Kumanduros. Lorenz. Megan McIver. Ariel Marathis. Kelly McCarthy. Julie McClung. Lindsay Kelly Marr. Brent Scott Larson. Christopher Brian Natalian. Juan Enrique Lanos. Marco Bernard Luisi. Michael Christopher Messman. Bryce Moker. Andrew Muscus. Dean Asher Nemiroff. Veronica Mendez. Brittany Moker. Alessandra Monroe. Lindsay Morel. Samantha Joanne Nato. Kimberly Gail Nowers. Kelly O'Brien. Tori O'Brien. Daniel Philip Nelson. John Michael Norwood. Tyler James O'Neill. Ricky Hefner. Percival. Matthew Garrett Sahoyas. Zach Rabel. Michael Reardon. Lauren Elizabeth O'Grady. Allison Lauren Casevich. Courtney Jeanette Baird. Alicia Lynn Pride. Taylor Lee Pride. Jess Russell. Nicolette Lauren Russell. Blake Rice. Kevin Rollins. Nicholas Santo Salerno. Renato Sehoven. Andrew Sinkowitz. Michael Smith. Kevin Southwick. Evan Sullivan. Lauren Mary Scullin. Miranda Emily Sisolak. Samantha Megan Sordillo. Rachel Ann Stolar. Anishka Tess. Ivory Unit. Alana Jean White. Jeffrey M. Sullivan. Adam Titus. Sean Weldon. Michael Jeffrey Wooten. David D'Amico.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2010. May I now introduce the Vice President of the Class of 2010, Tracy Sinkiewicz.
Okay. Can Mr. Murphy and Mrs. Utter please come up? Mr. Murphy and Mrs. Utter were both of our class advisors for freshman and sophomore year, and then it was just Mr. Murphy for junior and senior year, and we just wanted to thank them for all of the work they have put in and all the time that they have put into helping our class, so thanks a bunch. Thank you for coming. Seniors, most of us have been together in Georgetown schools for 13 or 14 years, and after today, that will no longer be the case. Thanks for the memories and everything you have taught me. It's been a blast. I know at times it seems like school would last for an eternity, but once something is in the past, it has a tendency to fly away from us. So it might be easy to say that school wasn't so long after all, but it was definitely challenging getting to this point. I remember being a freshman and counting the days until we would all be seniors. When that time finally came, we were anticipating graduation and the next chapter in our lives. For those of you who do not know, the seniors taped up numbers in our hallway, counting down the days until we no longer had to attend classes. It had taken quite a beating over the 23 days that had elapsed since its construction, so one day I tried to fix it. As I was taping up the replacement for the missing number 3, a teacher approached me. He said, "I know you are counting down the days until you get out of here, but someday in the distant future, you will be counting days and wishing you were back here." I smiled to myself because it's not the first time I've heard an adult say something along those lines. I'm sure he's right, but I hope it takes a while to figure it out. So seniors, in that long stretch of time before we miss being in high school, I encourage you to pursue your passions and live the lives you want. Follow opportunities and make every second count. So one day, when you wish you were back in high school, you'll be proud of what you accomplished in the meantime. Congratulations, class of 2010. We made it.
I hope the days come easy and the moments pass slow, and each road leads you where you wanna go. And if you're faced with a choice and you have to choose, I hope you choose the one that means the most to you. And if one door opens to another door closed, I hope you keep on walking till you find the window. If it's cold outside, show the world the warmth of your smile. But more than anything, more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you wanted to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. I hope you never look back, but you never forget all the ones who love you in the place you left. I hope you always forgive and you never regret, and you help somebody every chance you get. Oh, you find God's grace in every mistake, and always give more than you take. But more than anything, yeah, more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you wanted to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. My wish for you is that this life becomes all that you wanted to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. This is my wish for you. I hope you know somebody loves you. May all your dreams stay big.
When you look back on times we had, I hope you smile and know that through the good and through the bad, I was on your side when nobody could hold us down. We claimed the brightest star and we came so far, and no, they won't forget. Whenever you remember times gone by, remember how we held our heads so high when all this world was there for us, and we believed that we could touch the sky. Whenever you remember, I'll be there. Remember how we reached that dream together.
proud when you look back and see how far we've come. It was our time to shine, and nobody could hold us down. They thought they'd see us fall, but we stood so tall, and no, we won't forget. Whenever you remember times gone by, remember how we held our heads so high when all this world was there for us. We believed that we could touch the sky. Whenever you remember, I'll be there. Remember how we reached that dream together. Whenever you remember, we claimed the brightest star, and we came so far, you know that we showed them all, and know they won't forget. Whenever you remember times gone by, remember how we held our heads so high when all this world was there for us, and we believed that we could touch the sky. Whenever you remember, I'll be there. Remember how we reached that dream together. Whenever you remember. Whenever you remember, whenever you remember. So we talked all night about the rest of our lives, where we're gonna be when we turn 25. I keep thinking times will never change. Keep on thinking things will always be the same. But when we leave this year, we won't be coming back. No more hanging out, 'cause we're on a different track. And if you got something that you need to say, you better say it right now, 'cause you don't have another day. 'Cause we're moving on and we can't slow down. These memories are playing like a film without sound, and I keep thinking of that night in June. I didn't know much of love, but it came too soon. And it was me and you, and then we got real blue. Stay at home talking on the telephone, and we would get so excited and we'd get so scared, laughing at ourselves, thinking life's not fair. And this is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. So if we get the big jobs and we make the big money, when we look back now, will our jokes still be funny? Will we still remember everything we learned in school? Still be trying to break every single rule? Will little brainy Bobby be the stockbroker man? Can he ever find a job that won't interfere with pretend? I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. Keep on thinking it's our time to fly. And this is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we right there, can we make it somehow? I guess I thought that this would never end. And suddenly it's like we're women and men. Will the past be a shadow that will follow us round? Will these memories fade when I leave this town? I keep